Alright, so after the whole Genesis incident, I wanted to find something else to kind of build up. And the Genesis, was when I first got it, was going to be a race car. And, then as I went along, I was like, well, let me try to keep heat in it. Let me try to keep air conditioning all in it. And I feel like that might have been part of the issue, that I was trying to keep all this stuff. And there were just so many wires. But anyway, off of the Genesis thing. But I found something. Actually, I got twins, I guess you could say. I've got an extended cab and then a regular cab. The regular cab is going to be the one that I actually build. Here, the extended cab, it actually has, it had a V8 in it at one point. It's got manual brakes, which is nice. It's got the block off plate for the heater and AC box and all. It has Caltrack bars on it. It's got a mini spool in the rear end. The regular cab one has still got all the factory stuff in it still, but this one's in better shape. We've got 2 trucks now, so we should be able to put something together and make a good truck. So but we'll get started on that. All right, so I got the front of the S10 off, or technically it's a Sonoma, the single cab. I got the fenders and all off. I got a lot of the stuff cleaned off. I still gotta take the booster off and some other stuff. I'm probably gonna go ahead and pull the core support off because I want to clean it up, sand it down, and paint it. I'm about to pressure wash it now. So I got this 6.0 that is a Gen 4 6.0, and I got it. I had to tear it apart and kind of change some of the gaskets and all. It's not the prettiest looking thing in the world, but I mean, it is a 6.0, so it'll be a little decent engine. But I had to change the lifters in it and change the gaskets. So I've got it all buttoned back up. I think I'm going to, it's kind of nasty. I've been made a mess over here, but I got this 4L80 that came out of the Genesis. I'm gonna mount them together. I'm gonna put them back in the 92 because I'm miss driving the truck. So we're gonna be working on this one here soon. I gotta finish a couple things up on the 4L80 before I can actually mount it back together with the 6.0. But get them mated back together, and we'll get the 92 in the shop, drop it in. I still got a bunch of stuff I gotta get. I still gotta get an intake and all that for that 6.0 before I can actually get it running. But I'll be able to actually have it in there, be able to put the hood back on the truck, and be able to put it on it, have one more thing getting closer to getting running. I've still got to work on, figuring out exhaust for the Falcon and getting an engine figured out for the S10. And I got to figure something out on the C10 because the engine in it is pretty much trashed as well. So basically, I've got a whole line of stuff that needs basically engines. That one I've got an engine for. That one I've got an engine for. But I've got to figure out the exhaust because these right here, it's too narrow to put even stock manifold headers. Anything I've tried, it's really tight right there. So I got to figure that out. The S10, I was gonna put the 408 in it, but some things happened with it, and it's not gonna happen. Probably just gonna try to get a 5.3 to put in it. I don't know for sure yet. I gotta find one. On the C10, like I said, the intake is cracked down underneath somewhere. It's just not worth me putting any more money into that engine. I really like driving the truck, and I really like it as a manual. So this one's got the SM 465. It's got the low and then first, second, third. I mean, there's nothing wrong with the transmission. It's got a whine when you hit the clutch, but it's going to be, I'm pretty sure that's going to be the throwout bearing. That's normally what it is. So, but other than that, I mean, the transmission shifts great. So I really want to I kind of want to see how an LS does with that setup. So I think what I'm going to do, figure out the flywheel and the clutch set for it, and just put a LS with a 5360, maybe even a 4.8 if I can find one of those to put in here, and keep the 4-speed for now, just because with the 4-speed, it's got the mechanical linkage right there. It's got the Z bar, and then it goes into the clutch fork there. If I keep this transmission and all, then I can leave that clutch setup, all that. I don't have to convert it to a hydraulic clutch, which, I mean, they make kits for these trucks. It's not an issue. Just I kind of want to, I hate to pull something out that works. You know, the engine doesn't work, but the transmission does. So I want to keep that transmission in it for as long as possible. Eventually I'll go to something else. I'd love to eventually put a T56 in it, but I don't have T56 money right now. So I think we're going to keep this 4-speed in it, and then eventually maybe go with the 5-speed, or maybe at that point, you know, just go ahead and go with the T56. I'm not sure yet. But that's kind of where I'm at on these 4 projects. The 92 will probably be the next one running, just because I have most everything from it still, as far as, because I've had an LS in it before. I still got the mounts. It still has the exhaust run under it. Basically just bolt the manifolds back up to the engine. The only thing I'm going to be missing from that setup is intake, injectors, stuff like that. Unfortunately, you know, with the C10, I was really hoping that engine, that 250, was going to last longer than it did. I got, I don't know, 2 weeks out of it, basically, which, I mean, it sat up for a long time. It was kind of in the same boat that the Falcon was in. You know, it sat up for probably 10 years. I think it's going to be way better off with the LS in it. It'll be more reliable, have more power, because ultimately this truck is basically just going to be my daily driver. It's basically going to take the place of the Genesis, which, you know, burnt. If you haven't seen that video, make sure you check it out. I'll have a link posted up in this corner over here, or it might be this one. One of the corners, it'll be a link to that video. I really want to get working on this. It's my 76 Bronco. It basically needs an engine. It was running. I was actually driving it pretty regularly, and it had a ticking noise, and I pulled the timing cover off, and it had, you could see where the timing chain was hitting the cover. Like, okay, well, you know, throw a new timing set in it, get a new cover and all that. And I was like, well, you know, while I'm doing this, let me go ahead and pull the pan off and put an oil pump in it. You know, probably go ahead and put a high volume pump in it. Well, when I dropped the oil pan, I found a piston skirt in it that had broken off. So basically at that point, I just kind of stopped, and it's kind of sat there going on 4 years now since that happened, and I just haven't had the time or money to do anything with it. But hopefully, if I can get some of these other projects rolling a little bit, I can have more time to spend on this one. That's just a little update. The other thing I have would be this Ford Ranger. It was a 4-cylinder truck, and they've got the plastic heater valves in them, and it broke. I didn't realize it. It pumped all the coolant out and popped the head gasket. I didn't have the money to change the head gasket when it happened. When it finally did get time to pull the head off, it had already rusted the cylinders and basically wasn't worth doing anything with. So it's basically sat here. About 2 years ago, I decided, hey, I'm gonna try to put an LS in here. That's hence why this block's sitting here. I actually got a 4L60 mounted to it. But if you can tell, these frame rails go basically straight back. And it's, I'm not gonna say impossible, because I know some people have done it with these new body Rangers, but basically in the same boat as the Falcon. Exhaust wise was the thing holding me up. So maybe one day I can get something done on here. I still have all the wiring and all to put it back factory. I've thought about getting another, just a new 2.5 to put back in it, using 5-speed, and just to have it running again. But that one's kind of on the back burner right now. That's basically all of what I've got right now, project wise. I know Christmas is coming up, so I'm gonna try to get back to putting out a video once a week, but it's kind of hard right now. I just got a lot of stuff going on. That's why I've got this video coming out today, is just kind of going through all of my projects here and just kind of giving y'all an update on everything, because I know you've seen some of this stuff here if you've been watching some of the other videos on the channel. Thanks for watching. Make sure y'all like and subscribe for future content, and see y'all next time.